guess I didn't really have a good childhood. My parents were really young when they had me. My mom got pregnant at 14, and like they were poor. So, and my father was an illegal immigrant. So they really struggled with like money and raising me, especially since they were kind of children in a sense as well. With my father and mother, I'd say that things were kind of abusive. I understand that I was like the first child, so I was like a trial child. So my father was really drunk, and there was a lot of abuse, fighting, a lot of going back and forth. And I'd say that kind of traumatized me because I guess like everyone, like you really want a loving, caring family, and I felt like I can talk to them, or I was getting hit for trying to like speak my mind on things. So basically, like growing up, it was abusive, and I guess into my teen years, it stopped. They stopped being that way.
Like, are you
Until they
ordering
got a
it?
divorce. They had gotten a divorce. Okay, my parents had me really young, and they're really abusive to each other and to me. And up until my teen years, they had stopped because they had gotten divorced. And I'd say they both went through a really hard time with that. So when I was about 15, I got diagnosed with some pretty serious thing, and they basically told me at 16 that I wasn't going to make it to be 20, or I would die in my early 20s. I'm 23 right now. My birthday is on the 3rd, so I'll be 24. But my health has taken a really bad turn to the point where now I'm in stage 1 kidney failure. But my body is extremely weak. Trying to get a kidney could take forever, and especially like my parents, they aren't exactly healthy. So even if they wanted to donate one, it wouldn't work. Basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is I am dying. Like that's what my doctors have told me, and it took me a long time to kind of like process it, but I guess now I've kind of accepted it. I still have dreams and like hopes, I guess. I'm almost done with college, and like my big dream was to be like a family and marriage therapist, help other people, whether it be like abusive relationships or like family issues or even being sick, because I feel like I've experienced so much at such a young age, and I could really relate. So I guess, yeah, I am really scared in a sense. Like I don't know what is there after life. I don't know if there is anything, but I kind of hope that it's like reincarnation or something. Maybe this time, if it is real, like I would like to maybe this time come back in a healthy body, working body. But yeah, I'm really open to talking about it. To me, I feel like it helps. Like as a teenager, I had to go through therapy as well, and I feel like my counselor really helped me. And he kind of helped me find out what the issue was. Like it was me, it was with my family. Like it's just trauma. But I feel as like even though I feel like most people would end up split images of their parents, like how they were treated, I do feel like I turn different from that. I feel like I'm very loving, I'm very caring. It's like I chose a different path from them, I guess. But like I don't know. I feel like I'm okay with this. I'm really lucky to be here right now. I've had so many great experiences. Like Forced Life is full of bad and good, but I like to really emphasize on the good, I guess. I met a lot of great people, and this is honestly my second day on VR chat, and I've met a lot of cool people on here too. So, like, I'm glad I get to experience all this. Like, every moment is a new experience, and I'm loving it. If I'm being honest, like, whenever I was really sick as a teenager, my mother kind of like I think it was
Oh my
annoying
god,
for
it's
her. Like
fine.
she'd get really angry if I
Why
randomly
do you
got sick. I
whisper
had to go
so
to the ER. She would get
loud?
so angry for having to take me. Like, why are you like this? Like,
What are you guys? You
it
scared
made
the
me feel
parrot
so
away. You
bad.
scared Mr.
So
Parrotman,
I
okay?
ended up getting with a really great
Really?
guy, and he doesn't. Whenever I get sick, he doesn't mind taking me to the ER, which. But yeah, she was really annoyed about it, and then my father, like, I was really depressed, and he kind of like he doesn't believe in like depression, like oh I had it worse than you kind of thing. Like growing up, I had to leave my country, and there shouldn't be depression. You have everything. Kind of. I'd say now though, my mom and dad don't know about the kidney failure. And I'm kind of like scared to tell them because I don't really know how they're going to like react. And like my father is sick self, and it's kind of scary. I don't want to hurt them. Well, they know I've been sick. I mean, they took me to all my doctor's appointments and everything. But as I moved out, like, I go by myself now. So whenever I got the kidney failure news about a few weeks ago, so the only people who know are just my boyfriend and me, and it's been kind of hard. I'd say now though, I am really close with my family now. Like my mom and dad, they've changed. They're different. They're really sweet now. I forgive them for everything that happened back then. Yeah. I know it doesn't really excuse them that they were young, but to me it's like at least now they changed for the better. And even though they're separated, like I am really close with my mom. I'm really happy. I wish it was like this back then, you know, but I'm glad at least it happened now rather than when it's too late. I got to experience them in their happiest. Well, I received it, I think, January 3rd, and basically, my doctor that I regularly see, he basically read all my labs that I had taken the day before and kind of just sat me down. Told me that, you know, you're going through stage 1 kidney failures, like your kidneys are really bad. And I'm used to always getting bad news, but I wasn't expecting that, you know? And it's like, I go to the doctor every 2 weeks. Like, I'm so used to getting blood drawn. I'm so used to and it's just like, I'm used to getting bad news, but I felt like for this time it was so real. Like, reality kind of hit me, you know? And he told me that I'm super weak, like my body, I don't know, like he told me about the whole like the kidney weight and everything, and it's just like I don't know. So I guess in a way the doctors were right about like dying in my early 20s, but I'm glad that I at least got this far. I feel like a teenager until now, like it's always been bad news. It's never been good news, you know? So after a while you get used to it. It's like, forget it. Like it's just gonna get worse from now, you know? So in a way, I guess I did kind of numb that out. But I guess this time it was different because my new doctor was so concerned, and he looked at me. Because whenever I go to specialists or everything, like, I feel like they are kind of cold-hearted about it, you know? Whenever I was a teenager and I had to go to my specialist, like, the first thing she told me was, like, you're not going to be able to get married, you're not going to graduate, you're not going to be able to do anything. Yeah, that really hurt me. And I feel like all the doctors that I've had were kind of just almost like they didn't really care, and it was hard on me. But this doctor, he like really sat me down and he put his hand on my shoulder and was like, I'm so sorry, like I know this is gonna be really hard to hear, and he explained everything. I guess this time I was like, oh wow, like oh shit, I'm dying. You know, it's happening now. Like they were right. But I guess in a way, yeah, but there's a huge list of things that are wrong with me, right? Like, for one, right now, I have, like, an acid eating at my kidneys right now, you know? And my stomach muscles have stopped working. And, like, also, like, I did dream of having a kid at one point, but my reproductive system also shut down. I feel like every time I go to the doctor, it's a new thing that shut down. So it's, like, even, like, my eyesight, like, it's starting to lose visions on some part, and it's, like, I don't know, like, at this point, I feel like I'm just waiting, you know?
I think the Quest 2 is the easiest because you would actually move your fingers.
He does. I feel like he is my rock. He goes with me to my doctor's appointments. He doesn't get angry about, oh, like, we're having to take you again, or like my parents did. He's really supportive, and he's always like, it's okay, we're gonna get through this, and even if it were to happen, like, I'm gonna be with you to the end. It's kind of hard to explain. I guess, like, peace, does that make sense? Like, peaceful? Like, I'm at peace with everything? Like, I don't hold any hate for my past or, like, people who have hurt me or anything. Like, if I do go, I want to go with not hating anybody, not, like, pointing fingers or like, oh, you know, I want to go peacefully and happy. If anything, like, my worst fear is to die, like, depressed or upset. Like, I want to know that, hey, you know, I had a hard life, but I had a great one, you know? Like, it was so eventful. Like, I met so many good people. I had so many good experiences, and I want to be proud of that. There's people who are living now who aren't living, in a sense. I guess when it comes to someone dying, you kind of really think about that. But yeah, I feel like when people take life for granted, and I feel like whenever you are dying, like you really hold on to life. It has so much meaning to you, and I feel like I am happy with the life I live. Like I wouldn't have changed anything. It's made me who I am today. Yes, I did. It's a lot of like weird things. Like I want to travel a little bit more. Like I've been to Oregon and I fell in love with Oregon. Like it's freaking beautiful. I love the scenery. I love fresh air. I'd like to visit Oregon more, travel more if possible. I'd like to get married if it's possible to like freeze my eggs or something. I don't know if I even have any, but like if I do, I would love to like freeze them and like who knows, like get a surrogate or something if I have time left. I just want to live the rest of my time with family, friends, and happy. I don't want to be depressed at doctor's appointments all the time and just like, you know what I mean? I want to have fun with what I have left. I would tell them to stay strong and, we could spend our time depressed and crying about everything from the past and from the news, but I guess just take it as more of a wake-up call that you need to live now more than ever. Don't spend time thinking about it. Don't get yourself depressed and crying like, oh, why me? Just try to live now. Like, do what you want, apologize, or talk to people about how you feel about certain situations. I feel like a lot of people, if someone hurt them, they don't talk about it. But if you're dying, let them know, like, hey, you really hurt me at this time, but I forgive you. If you can forgive, just live now. Yeah, I've tried it when I was a teenager, I guess. It's really hard to, I guess, right now, like, I feel like around my area, like, therapy is extremely expensive, but I do recommend, if you can go, to go. Because it really did help me whenever I was in a really dark place about everything. When I couldn't accept it, or whenever trauma and past situations were just kind of taking a hold of me and like making me so depressed in this hole. Like it helps to talk about it. It really does. I'm trying to find the right time. I don't want to like say it at a bad moment, and I don't want to say it at a good moment either, because it's like it's hard for me to kind of think of when the right time is, because it's like if you're having a good time with your family and you're like, oh, you're gonna bring bad news, and then it just changes the room. And if they're in a bad moment, like it's just gonna make things feel even worse, and I don't want them to be depressed, or I don't want to ruin like their happiness at that moment. So I'm finding, I guess, a neutral time to be serious, to sit both of them down. But I definitely will tell them this month, because I need to. Glad I could talk about it, and if someone is going through my situation, like I hope they live, I hope they do everything they've ever wanted now. And it does suck to know like life's too short, but you do what you can with it.